Hello everyone. Today we will discuss about the topic that is epilepsy. It is very important topic from the GPAT point of view. Before starting the epilepsy, you must be very familiar with this term that is seizure, epilepsy, and the convulsions. So let's get started. What is known as a seizure? In seizure, there is a abnormal electrical discharge of a neuron in a brain. So the basic difference between this seizure and the epilepsy is that in seizure there is a abnormal electrical discharge of a neuron. But what happens in epilepsy, if this discharge is repeated again and again, then it is known as a epilepsy. And what is known as a convulsions? So in this during this, if motor movement get tempered, it is known as a convulsions. So, what is known as seizure? Seizure is a abnormal electrical discharge of a neuron in a brain, and if this discharge is repeated again and again, then it is known as a epilepsy. And during the discharge of a neuron, if our motor movement get tempered, it is known as a convulsions. So, what happen in epilepsy? In epilepsy, there is a abnormal electrical discharge of a neuron in a brain. So there are two type of epilepsy. First one is known as generalized epilepsy and second one is known as partial epilepsy. So let us discuss the difference between the generalized and the partial one. So basically our brain has two hemisphere, that is right hemisphere and the left hemisphere. So what happen in partial epilepsy? In partial epilepsy, only one hemisphere of our brain is included. Either it is a right one or a left one. But what happen in generalized epilepsy? In generalized epilepsy, both right and the left hemisphere of our brain are included. So this is about the types of epilepsy, that is general and the partial. In partial, only one hemisphere is included. In generalized, both hemisphere are included. So next is about the pathophysiology of the epilepsy. So basically there are two neurons in our brain. The first one is GABA and the second one is glutamate. So what happens? The GABA is a inhibitory neurons in our brain and the glutamate is a excitatory stimulatory neurons in our brain. So this both are in a proper coordinate in a proper balance. So what happen in epilepsy? In epilepsy, this GABA, which is a inhibitory neuron, get over inhibited, and this is a stimulatory neuron. This glutamate is get overstimulated. So what happens here is the action of GABA is completely inhibited and the action of glutamate is more enhanced in the epilepsy person. So see, if we completely know about the pathophysiology of any disease, if we reverse the pathophysiology of any disease, we can correlate its management. So next is, what is the management of the epilepsy? So in the management, what we can do is we can increase the GABA activity, and second one we can decrease the glutamate activity, and third one is we use calcium channel blockers, and fourth one is we use sodium channel blockers, and fifth one is we can use potassium channel openers. So these are the management of the epilepsy. So starting with the drugs one by one. First is drugs that increase GABA activity. So we know that this is a synapse, pre-synapse. This is a post-synapse, and GABA is generally come from the glutamate by glutamic acid decarboxylase enzyme. This enzyme GABA is made from the glutamate, which is with the help of glutamic acid decarboxylase enzyme. When GABA comes in the vesicles, from the vesicles they can come into the synapse and then they will act on their receptors. But in epilepsy, what happen is there is a total inhibition of the GABA. So for the management of the epilepsy, we need that we have to enhance the action of the GABA. So how can we enhance the action of the GABA? So there are various drugs, like we can inhibit the transporters or we can inhibit the enzymes that will deteriorate or demolish the action of the GABA. So first of all, we have a drug like valproate. So valproate, what will do, the valproate will enhance the activity of glutamic acid decarboxylase enzyme. That is, if this enzyme is get stimulated, then this enzyme will convert more GABA, will convert more glutamate into the GABA, and more GABA will come in the vesicles, and more will release into the synapse. So how can we increase the GABA action? By using valproate. So second one is how can we how can we increase the action of GABA in the synapse? So there is a drug known as vigabatrin. So how this drug act? There is a enzyme that is gamma transaminase. This gamma transaminase will inhibit the GABA in the synapse. So this vigabatrin will inhibit this enzyme GABA transaminase. So if this enzyme get inhibited, there is a more presence of a GABA here. So there is a more GABA here, and there is a and then this GABA will act on their receptors. So in this way we can enhance the more GABA action. So third one is there is a transporter which reuptake the GABA from the synapse. That transporter is known as a GAT1 transporter, GAT1 transporter. So there is a drug known as tiagabine. So it will inhibit the GAT1 reuptake transporter, and there is a drug like pregabalin and gabapentin. So this drug will enhance the release of a GABA from the vesicles. So next drug is barbiturates and benzodiazepines. They will act on the GABA A receptors. So these drugs are also used in the epilepsy. So we know GABA is a ion gated channels, and GABA B receptors is GPCR receptors. So let's discuss one by one with the drugs. First one is benzodiazepine. In this we use diazepam, lorazepam, clonazepam, or clobazam. In this the diazepam drug is used for febrile seizure. Clorazepam is used for status epilepticus, and this drug is used for absence seizure, and clobazam is used for Lennox-Gastaut syndrome. Next drug is tiagabine. Tiagabine is used, the mechanism of action of tiagabine is it inhibit the GAT1 transporter. So it will inhibit the GAT1 transporter, and it is used in the partial seizure. Means partial seizure means only seizure where only one hemisphere is included. Next one is vigabatrin. Vigabatrin is GABA transaminase inhibitor. This drug will used in the resistance partial seizure, and this drug also has another one use, that is infantile spasm. In this drug are also used in infantile spasm. The main side effect of vigabatrin is visual field side effect. Next drug is ganaxolone. It is a GABA A agonist, and it is used in partial seizure, and it is also used in migraine prophylaxis. This is another use of this drug. So this is about the GABA drugs. Here one more point is pregabalin and gabapentin are mainly used in neuropathic pains. So that's it for the GABA analog drugs. Next we will discuss about the glutamate drugs. Now we will discuss about the glutamate. In the starting of I told you that glutamate is a excitatory neurotransmitter. It get over excitated into the brain. So glutamate, when it get overexcited, glutamate will act on the NMDA and the AMPA receptors. So if we block the NMDA and the AMPA receptors, so glutamate will not perform their function. So we have two drugs which act on both these receptors. First one is felbamate, which act on the NMDA receptors, and the second drug is perampanel, which act on the AMPA receptors. So these two are the drugs which act on the different receptors on which glutamate will act. So here felbamate is used for the GTCS, that is generalized tonic-clonic seizure, and the partial seizure. Their side effect is bone marrow suppression. So parampanel, it is used for the partial seizure. Their side effect is weight gain and mood abnormalities. So this is about the glutamate. Now the third management of the epilepsy is the calcium channel blocker. So in this we have to block calcium channels. So we have two drugs here. First one is ethosuximide. So ethosuximide, it will block the calcium channel. Remember here the calcium channel we are talking is about is the T type calcium channels. So first drug is ethosuximide. It is a drug of choice for the absence seizure. Generally, it is used in children who are suffering from the absence seizure. So second drug is valproate. It is a wide spectrum drug. We called it wide spectrum because it acts on the sodium channel, calcium channel, and it also enhances the GABA activity. So that's why we called it as a wide spectrum drug. So talking about the uses of the valproate, it is a drug of choice for generalized tonic-clonic seizure, for myoclonic seizure, or for an absent seizure, or it is used in BPD, that is bipolar disorder, or it is used for the migraine prophylaxis also. So the talking about the side effect of the valproate is that vomiting, hepatotoxicity, alopecia, rash, obesity. And the main side effect of valproate is the teratogenicity. The side effect which is caused by the valproate is the neural tube defect. In the neural tube defect is prevented by the administration of the folic acid during the pregnancy, so that we can prevent the neural tube defect. So, here is a two case of the valproate. Suppose a female female suffering from the epilepsy and taking the valproate. In this first case, female is already pregnant and she is taking the valproate. In the second case, female is taking a valproate, but she is not yet pregnant, but having a planning of of their pregnancy. So in the first case, in which female is already pregnant and on a valproate therapy, so what we do, we continue monitor the therapeutic dose of the valproate in the pregnant woman, and we also give the 400 microgram per day, that is folic acid, to prevent the neural tube defect of the valproate. So second, in which the planning of the pregnancy, in this we stop the drug for a few days, and these days are known as a drug free interval. In this we do not give any drug to the female. So after that we absorb the female, we absorb the female. If she is getting a seizure, then we give lamotrigine. If she is not having a seizure, then we did not give any drug to the female. Now this, in this the calcium channel blocker, we have ethosuximide and the valproate. This is very important point, that teratogenic effect of the valproate, and it is known as wide spectrum. Why it is known as wide spectrum? Because it acts on sodium calcium and also sodium calcium and also increase the GABA activity. So fourth one is sodium channel blockers. In this, the first drug is phenytoin. So phenytoin, there is a general point regarding the phenytoin, that is different brand of phenytoin is not bioequivalent, or phenytoin is an enzyme inducer and it follows zero order kinetics, or it is a class 1B antiarrhythmic drug. So talking about the uses of the phenytoin, it is used in GTCS, generalized tonic-clonic seizure. It is used in partial seizure, and it is used in status epilepticus. Now the talking about the side effect, it causes hirsutism, hyperglycemia, hyperplasia of gum. We can remember this by H3Q, that is historism, hyperglycemia and hyperplasia of a gum. Another side effect it causes diplopia, ataxia, nystagmus, osteomalacia, and phenytoin is also a teratogenic drug. It causes fetal hydantoin syndrome. So here one point you have to remember is that phenytoin is contraindicated in the absence and the myoclonic seizures. It is not used there in absence or a myoclonic seizure. So and one drug is fosphenytoin. It is a water soluble drug of phenytoin which is given by a parenteral route. Now, next sodium channel blocker drug is carbamazepine. It is also known as CBZ. So, it is mechanism of action of this drug is that it will inhibit the sodium channel. So, it is a drug of choice in the focal seizure, or it is also a drug of choice in trigeminal neuralgia. It is also used in diabetes insipidus, acute mania, and generalized tonic-clonic seizures. So, talking about the side effect of the CBZ, that is carbamazepine drug. So, it has four side effects. First one is agranulocytosis. Second one is allergy. Third one is it will increase the ADH level. So, it will increase the antidiuretic hormone level. So, that's why it is used in the diabetes insipidus. The fourth one is it causes the ataxia. So this is about the carbamazepine, that it will inhibit the sodium channels. Similarly, like drugs which will inhibit the sodium channels like zonisamide, tokesamide, rufinamide, it will both three drugs are inhibit the sodium channels. So and both three drugs are useful in the focal seizures. Zonisamide drugs causes the renal stone as a side effect, and rufinamide causes the QT prolongation. So, talking about the next drug, that is topiramate. It is a wide spectrum drug like valproate. Here it is called wide spectrum because it will block the sodium channel, open the potassium channels, and it will also act on the glutamate receptor AMPA and NMDA and block the glutamate activity. So that's why it is called the wide spectrum drug. Important point about the topiramate is that it will decrease the craving of the alcohol. It is only a anti-epileptic drug that causes the weight loss, or it is used in the BPD, that is bipolar disorder, or it is also used in migraine prophylaxis. It will also inhibit the carbonic anhydrase enzyme uh, in the body. Uh, and the uses of topiramate is that it is used in GTCS, generalized tonic-clonic seizure, in Dravet syndrome, and it is also used in the partial seizure. So this is all about the sodium channel blocking drugs. Uh, Next, in sodium channel blocking drugs, we have phenytoin, carbamazepine, zonisamide, tokesamide, rufinamide, topiramate. Next, we are talking about the potassium channel opener drugs. In this category, the drug is retigabine. It is used for the treatment of the partial seizure, but it is generally used in a combination with the other drugs. It is an add-on therapy drug. So the main side effect of this drug is retinal damage, QT prolongation, blue pigmentation of the skin and the nail. So next is about the new anti-epileptic drug, that is levetiracetam and brivaracetam drug. These both drugs will act on the synaptic vesicle protein, that is SV2A protein, and inhibit the release of excitatory neurotransmitter. These drugs are useful in the partial seizure, myoclonic seizure, generalized tonic-clonic seizure, and the status epilepticus. So this is all about the epilepsy. In the all the anti-epileptic drugs, especially the older anti-epileptic drug like carbamazepine, valproate, phenytoin, and other drugs. In the older anti-epileptic drugs require the TDM, that is therapeutic drug monitoring, whereas new drugs like this category of drugs, these drugs do not require the therapeutic drug monitoring. So that's it for the epilepsy chapter. And one important point is that is what is ILAE. This is very important. ILA is International League Against Epilepsy. It is a society that gives the guidelines about the epilepsy. It gives about the proper treatment, proper guideline, and proper classification of seizures. So, if you want to read, you can Google and download the PDF of International League Against Epilepsy. So, that's it. Thank you.